You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 26th day of November, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here or right now. We do 2 live broadcasts every trading day. Now, the first live broadcast, that's our live training room, and that is reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you have not yet taken your 1-week free trial, when Michael joins us in about 50 minutes, he'll walk you through step by step how to take the trial. It's very simple. And if you take the trial today, we will get your indicators indicating today. Now, it's a short week, so you'll get 1 day this week. You'll still have the indicators to get used to over the long holiday weekend. And then you'll get 4 more days next week. So you won't lose out on anything, so don't wait till Monday to take the trial. Take it today so that you're in the room tomorrow morning and then 4 days next week. Again, he'll walk you through step by step how to take the trial. It's a piece of cake. You can do it. Now, when the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, we take a 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the afternoon broadcast, which, unlike the morning broadcast, is open to the public. That's everybody everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There's 2 different ways you can join this afternoon broadcast live. Let me give you the best way first, because you only have to do it once. Go to mytradingiq.com. Scroll down the page to where it says Noon Broadcast. Click the link, fill out the 30-second registration form, hit submit, and it'll automatically log you into our platform. But going forward, what will happen is every trading day, about an hour before this broadcast starts, you'll get an email. In the email, there will be a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email, and it'll log you right into our platform. The benefit of doing it that way is you have access to the question box so that you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there will be days when you're out of the office, away from your desktop, but you'd still like to join live. And there will be days when you're busy, can't join live, but want to get caught up later. Well, you can do both of those via our YouTube channel, which is very easy to remember, youtube.com/CFRN. That stands for the Christian Financial Radio Network. But you don't have to remember all that. You already know the YouTube part, so just remember CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live, or simulcast if you will, every trading day on our YouTube channel, as we're doing right now, but we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently there are over 2,600 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Thanks to the power of YouTube, you can scroll back 6 days, 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. Obviously, you're not going to watch them all, but you can see how we've evolved over the years, from where we were to where we are now. youtube.com/CFRN. This is our schedule each and every day for the afternoon broadcast. We start out with our daily devotional, word of prayer, some global and market news, then a recap of the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts. And then about 50 minutes into the broadcast, Michael will join us, give us a recap of what happened this morning in the live training room. Then we'll do some live trading on the TradingView platform for about a half an hour. Then I'll come back and wrap things up with our good word for the day. So let's dive into our devotional. Now, we've been on this for 5 days. Gratitude, the game changer. Today is day 5 of 5. So if you missed the first 4 days, you can always go to our YouTube channel and hear the whole thing, one day at a time. Our scripture today is Psalm 136, verses 1 through 3. And I'm going to share with you from the Message translation. Thank God. He deserves your thanks. His love never quits. Thank the God of all gods. His love never quits. Thank the Lord of all lords. His love never quits. That's Psalm 136, verses 1 through 3. So on our final day of this devotional topic, Gratitude, the Game Changer, we're going to talk about changing your life. Every thought, word, and action has culminated in the place where you are currently. Now, here's the question. Is here where you want to be? If the answer is no, it's time to change your thoughts. When you change your thinking, you change your life. Maybe you need course corrections to get where you would like to be. Changing your thoughts can also help with this. If you can change your thoughts, again, you can change your life. You see, your brain believes whatever you tell it. So when you start your day with gratitude, you set yourself up for success because you told your brain to look for more things to be grateful for. When you end your day with gratitude for all the Lord has done for you, you let your brain know it can rest instead of worrying. Practicing gratitude isn't a magic trick that will change your life overnight, but actively looking for the good in your life and thanking our good Father for it, no matter what happens, is the way to change your trajectory. Giving thanks for all the beautiful things our Father has done for us is a way to practice gratitude. Meditating on His Word, then journaling about all you are grateful for, is how we make gratitude a habit. And habits are how we change things for the better or worse. Gratitude is the way through hard times. It makes good times better. It is worship, praise, and thanks. All things the Bible tells us to do. In Psalm 136, we read, "Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever." In 1 Corinthians 15:57, "But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory through our Lord Jesus Christ." 1 Chronicles 29:13, "Now our God will give you thanks and praise your glorious name." In Psalm 69:30, "I will praise God's name in song and glorify him with thanksgiving." Gratitude really is the game changer. Try to start or end your day with a gratitude list. Write it down and keep it with you so you can use it as encouragement when you encounter obstacles or find yourself in a hard place. Then do it again the next day and the next. That's how you build a habit. Pray with me. Heavenly Father, you are worthy of all praise just because you are who you say you are. You are the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the Word made flesh. You deserve all of our hallelujahs from glory to glory. Thank you for all you have blessed us with in this life. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, amen. Amen and happy Tuesday. Let me give you the numbers from around the world. I'm going to start here in the U.S. the cash markets, or the indices as they're called. Currently the Dow is down 126 points. The Nasdaq is up 83. S&P 500 is up 17. But the one that worries me a little bit is the Russell 2000, which is down 11. In the commodity basket, crude oil is up 13 cents, trading 69.07 last. Gold up $9. Trading 26.27.50 last. And silver, about time, up 27 cents, trading 30.51 last, basically 1%. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei fell 338 points. The Shanghai, and that's almost 1%. Shanghai dropped 4. And the Hang Seng gained 8. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE down 33. The DAX down 109. And the CAC down 62. And for the CAC, that is almost 1%. So we had a mixed day in Asia. It was a red day for the UK. And so far, it's a mixed radio Tuesday here in the US of A. Now, when it comes to futures, we like to see those 4 major indexes all the same color. Doesn't matter if they're all 4 red or all 4 green, because as a futures trader, you can be long, short, long again, all in the same hour, if that's what the chart in front of you tells you to do. When they're all the same color, that's when you get better follow through. Those are the days where trading seems oh so simple. But when we have mixed markets like we do today, it's a little bit tougher. But this too shall pass. Now, let's take a look at some global news and some market news. What in the world? Hang on, my news feed hung up. Stand by. We'll get it here in just a second. Theoretically. There we go. All right. As you've probably heard, the judge overseeing the January 6 election interference case against President-elect Donald Trump dropped charges yesterday following a request from special counsel Jack Smith. Smith similarly moved to dismiss charges against Trump, accusing him of illegally retaining classified documents after leaving office. In filings, Smith said his view of the case remained unchanged, but cited the Justice Department's long-standing legal perspective that federal prosecution of a sitting president is unconstitutional. In the election interference case, prosecutors alleged Trump conspired to interfere with the 2020 election and obstruct the official certification of electoral votes. I won't go into any detail on my personal feelings regarding that, but they probably resemble yours. And I'd like to see Jack Smith pay back the $100 million in taxpayer money, your money. You worked hard, you paid your taxes. Jack Smith blew $100 million of it, prosecuting a victimless crime. Charges were brought last August when the trial delayed by a legal challenge in which the Supreme Court ultimately ruled former presidents have some immunity to criminal prosecution for acts in office. Smith subsequently refiled updated charges 10 weeks ahead of the election. In related news, the president-elect said yesterday evening he would look to impose 25% tariffs on all goods coming from Canada and Mexico, and additional tariffs on Chinese goods on his first day back in office. Spinning the globe, Israel's cabinet is expected to vote today on the terms of a proposed ceasefire deal with Hezbollah and Lebanon. Now, this deal does not cover the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. Oh, that's just distressing. The Lebanese army would monitor the border in a process overseen by 5 countries led by the U.S. and France. Israel could continue to take military action to disrupt Hezbollah's activity, to smuggle weapons and reestablish a border presence. Hezbollah renewed its conflict with Israel on October 8, 2023, launching thousands of rockets into the country following Hamas' October 7 attacks. Since then, around 60,000 people have been displaced in Israel and more than 1 million people in Lebanon. Israeli attacks in Lebanon, including a ground invasion this year, have killed more than 3,500 people and wounded over 15,000 others. Hezbollah attacks have killed more than 140 people in Israel. Earth's temporary mini-moon, a 33-foot asteroid known as 2024 PT5, is departing after spending 2 months near our planet. The space rock began its horseshoe-shaped path around Earth in late September, but is never fully captured as a true satellite. Scientists believe the bus-sized rock may be a chunk of our own moon based on its composition and characteristics. Finding its makeup closely matches lunar samples collected by Russian and NASA missions in the past. The asteroid's spectral characteristics resemble material from the moon's Maria regions, dark lunar areas formed by ancient lava flows, suggesting it may have been ejected from a lunar crater millions of years ago. The asteroid will make a brief appearance in January, passing within 1.1 million miles of our planet, about 5 times the distance from Earth to the moon. After the flyby, it won't come back until 2055. Let's go to the market news. Now, we've already mentioned this, but we'll dig a little deeper. It took almost 3 weeks for Donald Trump to provide an unmistakable signal that he is serious about fulfilling his tariff promises, setting up a likely flurry of diplomatic and legal maneuverings in the months to come. President-elect said last night he has plans for a 25% blanket tariff on Mexico and Canada, and new 10% duties on China above any additional tariffs. Now, the reason he's doing this, as you probably already understand, this caravan that's headed for the border, which currently Biden and Kamala have swung wide open. Get in as many as you can, as fast as you can. But the president is letting the president of Mexico know, if you don't stop this caravan before it gets to the border, the day I take office, Mexico's going to be in real trouble. The stated reasons for the new proposed duties are drugs and illegal immigration, with the president-elect surprising many observers by targeting all 3 of the top U.S. trading partners even before he takes the oath of office. The move was met with immediate resistance, with a spokesperson for the Chinese embassy in the U.S. posting that no one will win a trade war. Yeah, well, guess what? Maybe so many of our young people will stop dropping dead in the street from fentanyl overdose. That's a wicked monster. Good news, Americans are feeling more upbeat about the outlook for the U.S. economy. The latest index reading from the Conference Board was 111.7 in November, above the 109.6 seen in October, and the highest level in more than a year. The Expectations Index, which is based on consumers' short-term outlook for income, business, and labor market conditions, ticked up 0.4 percentage points to 92.3, significantly above the threshold of 80 that typically signals recession ahead. Now, you guys know, for the last few years, I've been talking about a depression. The rest of the world was worried about a recession. I did say that if Trump won the election, which he did, in grand Trump style, I'm calling off the depression. I think we might even avoid a recession. Wall Street's uber bull Tom Lee makes his next bold bet in the ETF era. This is from Bloomberg. Wall Street prognosticators tend to huddle around the consensus afraid to stand out for fear of being wrong. Then there's Tom Lee, the Chief Investment Officer at Fundstrat Capital, has made his name with bold calls. The S&P 500 at 15,000, Bitcoin to 10 million. His unabashedly bullish takes, for which he makes no apologies, have drawn legions of online followers in this anything-goes era of market speculation, fueled by do-it-yourself retail investors. Now the former JP Morgan Chase strategist is looking to cash in on his renown with a new exchange-traded fund. Don't laugh, it's called the Granny Shots US Large Cap ETF ticker. And the ticker symbol is Granny, GRNY, which launched earlier this month and has already raked in more than $400 million. It's the first of what he hopes will be many to follow. Silicon Valley's about to get a shake-up. Google has a lot at stake if the Justice Department succeeds in breaking up its empire. From control over its search data and Android operating system to the loss of its Chrome browser. But the biggest threat the company faces is to a search business that is deeply woven into the technology ecosystem of its parent company, Alphabet. Of the $307.3 billion in revenue Google made last year, $175 billion came solely from that ad-driven search engine business. The DOJ wants to impose dozens of limitations on the way that Google connects that engine with consumers. And last in the news, from Reuters, President-elect Donald Trump is expected to overhaul U.S. financial regulators, which under Democratic President Joe Biden have pursued a slew of stringent new rules for banks, private funds, and other lenders. Here's how Trump could take control of the agencies upon taking office. Start with the SEC. The SEC comprises 5 politically appointed commissioners, with the current balance being 3 Democrats and 2 Republicans. Democratic SEC Chair Gary Gensler, no Claire Gary, said last week he will step down in January, at which point Trump is expected to appoint one of the 2 Republican commissioners, Hester Pierce or Mark Ueda, as acting chair. Trump also has the option of appointing Pierce or Ueda to the role permanently. But Reuters and other media outlets have reported that his transition team is considering external candidates who would have to be confirmed by the Senate. Also last week, Democratic Commissioner Jamie Lizarraga said he would step down in January, meaning Republicans will control the agency after January 20th. Allowing them to quickly set about overhauling crypto policy and other regulations. Now, for all of you futures traders, you know what the CFTC is, and the president picks the CFTC chair from among its 5 politically appointed commissioners. And the law does not say explicitly whether the president can fire a commissioner. The president may, though, replace the chair with another commissioner. However, traditionally the chair resigns when a different political party takes over the White House. And the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. In 2020, the U.S. Supreme Court handed the president more authority over the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau including by empowering him or her to fire its director at will. Assuming Democratic CFPB Director Rohit Chopra does not resign, Trump is expected to remove him on day one. But the question of who can serve as acting director has historically been contentious. The Trump administration in 2017 asserted that it had the power under the 1998 Federal Vacancies Reform Act to install an acting CFPB director, while the agency's deputy director at the time, Leandra English, argued that under the 2010 Dodd-Frank law, which created the agency, she was its rightful interim director. So there you have it. That's the news from around the world and the markets. So let's go a little closer to home. Take a look at the Logic 247 alerts. Now, Logic 247, that's our 24/7 around-the-clock E-mini alert service. It's not just E-minis, it's also crude and gold and silver and bonds. We're currently in week 330. Over the last 330 weeks, we've issued over 18,500 individual handcrafted alerts. And we've averaged on a weekly basis 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure and a very simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Now this week, since the market opened Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern through 6:30 a.m. Eastern this morning when Valerie did this recap, we've issued a total of 30 alerts this week, 4 never triggered, still waiting on the outcome of 8. That gave us 18 actionable alerts, of which 3 or 17% would have been stopped out, again based on market structure and that simple process we teach all of our passport holders. Now, each logic alert comes with an entry price, an initial target that's designed to help you get your goal for the day, and then often additional targets and a final trade to target. Yes, you can trade them, but the real reason for them is to teach you how to read a chart. Imagine going to law school, but you didn't know how to read. That would be a real challenge now, wouldn't it? Yeah, you could listen to the professor and you could try to memorize it all, but it would be a slow go. In the financial markets, when we look at charts, we're not looking at words and sentences and paragraphs. We're looking at candlesticks. We're looking at how the market flows. We're identifying areas of support and resistance, and we're finding windows of opportunity between the two. That is the real purpose of the Logic 247 alerts. If you want to learn how to trade, you first have to learn how to read a chart. Otherwise, you'll be stumbling around in the dark. So, trade them if you want, but make sure you use them for the real reason they're created, and that's to help you learn how to read a chart. We had a great week last week. We ended up with only 3% stopped out. Now those logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock, 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. Our day session is their night session, and vice versa. But the concierge trade alerts, which was our original alert service, they don't come out around the clock. They're very different. And I'll show you how they differ. If you're a member or trial member, make sure you read this important information at the top. If you don't understand something, ask and I'll be happy to answer it for you. As you can see, these targets were published last night at exactly 6 p.m. Eastern, right when the Globex markets opened. S&P 500, the Dow, the Russell, crude, the NQ, the NASDAQ, gold, silver, and 30-year bonds. So as we go to the charts, I want you to remember that every member and every trial member had these targets the moment the markets opened last night. And we'll go to the daily chart of the S&P 500. And we got a bullish day going. Remember, as price was moving up to red and falling, it was resistance, but we overcame the resistance. Now we've overcome the 62% fib extension. The all-time historic high is at 60.53 1/4. Yesterday's high was 60.40, so 13 points away from the all-time historic high. Today's high, while bullish, is only 60.29 half. Could we get a rally into the close? I don't know. Tomorrow we have the minutes of the last FOMC. So we could see some sideways trading. But the thing is, once those FOMC meeting minutes come out, are they releasing them today? Maybe they're releasing them today. So, yeah, I think they are because of the short week. So, expect volatility when the minutes come out. And then tomorrow could be quite volatile. Now, historically, U.S. markets rally into a holiday weekend. Whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or 4th of July or Labor Day or Memorial Day. Now, does it happen 100% of the time? No. Does it happen more often than not? Yeah, I'd say probably 80% of the time. So we'll see if we can put in a new all-time historic high by close of business on Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern. Now, this green line is called the BBC. It stands for Bull Bear Cross. When price crosses below the green line, we're bearish and expect lower prices. When price crosses above the green line, we're bullish and expect higher prices. Lower prices, higher prices, lower prices, higher prices. Now, markets are fractal in nature, so you can apply the BBC to a daily chart, a weekly chart, a monthly chart, a 30-minute chart, a 5-minute chart, a tick chart, a range chart. And it's going to give you the same information relative to the time frame you apply it to. Okay? When we go to the 30-minute charts where all the alerts are created, you'll see the BBC there. Anytime you see one of my charts, whether it's a range chart, 30-minute chart, or the daily chart, I never leave home without the BBC. It really is that important because you can see that the pullback price always reverts to the mean, and in our case the mean is green and we call it the BBC. Whether you're pulling back or pulling up from below or pulling down from above, the pullback holds more often than it doesn't. The most recent example of that was where we had right here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days where the pullback held. And now we have higher prices. Closing in on yesterday's high. And after that, closing in on the all-time historic high. But there's another reason I show you the daily chart every day. Whether you trade futures or stocks, crypto or Forex or ETFs, if you'll spend 2 minutes with the daily chart, before you go to your smaller time frames and start trading. You're getting a free look over the shoulder of the deep pockets that move price. You see, institutional traders, the ones with the big accounts that trade in huge size, that move price, they look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts. So not only are you getting a look over the shoulder of the deep pockets that actually move price, I mean, if you do that, just do what they're doing long enough to get your goal for the day and put the mouse away, right? But you're also able to identify where to expect major resistance. You see right here, and then here, and support. Here's the 50% fib extension. Here's the daily BBC. Here's the 38% fib extension. You can't see those on your smaller time frames. So if you'll just, for the next 30 days, spend 2 minutes with the daily chart of whatever you're about to trade before you start trading, I believe in the end of 30 days, you'll come to me and go, you know what? That made all the difference in the world. So here's the 30-minute chart of the ES. These are this week's weekly trading zones. We've published the weekly trading zones since December 14th of 2009. So this December 14th will mark 15 years. Now we publish the zones Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern for our members and trial members. Once they're published, they're carved in stone for the entire week. They do not change in any way whatsoever. The vertical line you see here separates today, Tuesday, from yesterday, Monday. Over here you can see the gap higher open we had Sunday night. Now, after the gap higher open, what did price do? It pulled back to the zone. And when price drops to a zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. And then we spike the zone above, only to end up closing almost 2 zones below. This zone is 59.78/79. Buyers came in here, pushed us up to the BBC, and last night when the market opened, okay, right here is where the market opened last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. All members had the target. Now the opening price was 60.13 1/4, and it ran up over 5 points in that first 30 minutes. It only takes 2 points to get your goal for the day. So 30 minutes after the market opened last night, you could have been done for this session. Now, price ran into trouble right here. We had a huge reversal that took us all the way down to the short target. Then we spiked the short target and hit the weekly zone at 78/79. When the market finds support, it will go look for resistance. And look where it found resistance, at the zone above, 6009/6010. Resistance will send the market to support at the BBC. You can see where the pullback held. That sent us back to the zone, resistance, sent us back to the BBC, support. All these candles are touching the green line. That means the pullback held. And right here, we get the perfect stack. Price, step line, blue and climbing, BBC. And boom, right up to the long target. Now, let's say you were conservative and waited to 60.14. That's an 8-point move. Again, it only takes 2 points to get your goal for the day. Now, the market struggled for hours to break through the zone at 60.24/25. It has done it, and that's where we got our high on the day of 60.29 half. Okay, right now we got a double top at 60.29 half. The big question is, will buyers keep buying? Because we're well off yesterday's high. You can see it very clearly. Okay, but notice these pullbacks to the BVC, they held. The pullback holds more often than it doesn't. You got to remember that. On the Dow, this is where we opened last night, and we immediately dropped where? Right to the short target. This candle opened at 880 and it dropped to 700. That's a 180 point candle. This was the opening candle, okay, but this was the move. Okay, now you could have got your goal for the day on that first candle, or you could have picked up 180 points on this move down. Support will send the market looking for resistance. When price encounters a weekly trading zone, only one of three things happens. 70% of the time it's this: consolidation. 20% of the time it's rejection. 10% of the time, the slice. That's when price slices through a weekly zone like it's not even there. When that happens and the slice runs out of steam, price will typically retrace back to the zone it sliced through and then continue in the direction of the slice. So after hitting the long target, it looks like to the tick, oh, we overshot it by 2 ticks. The next candle, we immediately came down and hit the short target. Again, missing it by just 2 ticks. Support bounced us up to resistance. The pullback held. That sent us back down to the target and to the zone. The zone bounced us up to the step line, resistance. And then we overshot the zone. And look here. Price was trying to close that gap from Sunday night, and it still hasn't done it. The market found support just above where we opened Sunday night. And now price is trying to overcome the BBC and get back to the zone overhead at 44,840/845. The Russell, here's where we opened with red and falling overhead, and it was a fast trip to the short target. Then we found support at the zone, which bounced us up to resistance at the BBC, which sent us back to the zone support, which sent us up to the zone resistance, which sent us down to the zone support, and now we're just kind of wandering sideways. NQ, the opening candle, 2906, ran up to 33. So that would be 27 points at $20 a point. You only need 5 points to get your goal for the day. But we found resistance at the weekly zone, and that sent us all the way down through the zone below and eventually to the short target. Support, you see this low right here. That's Friday's low right there. Okay. Support sends us looking for resistance, which when we hit this zone, see how we consolidated? Then we hit the long target. First we hit the short target, then we hit the long target, and then we found resistance at the zone. The pullback to the BBC held here. It's trying to overcome blue and climbing. When blue and climbing gets directly above price, it can actually become resistance. But right now, a good trade would be 29.83 to 29.93. That little space you see right there up to the zone, that's $200 per contract traded. Crude oil. Something does not look right about this chart. It's not. Sometimes charts will hang up on you. So when that happens, just refresh them. There we go. So this is where we opened last night. We came right down to the short target and the zone. Support sent us up to the zone overhead. Now you see that high? See this high from yesterday? Failure to take that out was a sign of weakness. So down we go. Got a bearish cross. We hit the zone. And now we're dropping below the zone. Now 68.60. Hang on. We got one more zone below at 64.80. Been a tough week for crude. Yesterday it looked like we had a rally starting, but that got cut short. So there's a lot of room to cover. Basically, from here to here, that's worth $4,000 per contract traded. Gold, here's where we opened last night, and we dropped right to the short target, through the short target. Now, if you look over here, you'll find out why the market stopped dropping. Sent us up to the BBC, the pullback held. That sent us resistance, sent us back down to the target, support. And we overcame the BBC. And this high is that high. Resistance sent us back to support at the short target. And now we're just waddling sideways. Last would be silver. This was the opening candle last night, and it was a fast drop to the short target. Now remember, every member, every trial member had these targets the moment the markets opened. That was the first 30-minute candle right there. So when this red candle started building, let's say you didn't get into here like 30.26. Let's make it 30.25. That's 10 pennies to the target. That's $500 per contract traded. And there was more. But as you can see, when the 30-minute candle closed, it had retraced right back to the target. So support sends us looking for resistance. Now, see this high from yesterday? The fact that we couldn't close above that high, that's a sign of weakness, sent us right back down to the short target. Support at the target sent us back to the zone overhead where we consolidated. That resistance sent us back to the BBC support. And right now price is pinched between support at the BBC and resistance at red and falling. And that brings us all the way back to the daily chart where the ES is trying to take out yesterday's high. And if it can take out yesterday's high, then we're only 13 points away from the all-time historic high. And with that, Michael should be joining us right about now. Michael, are you ready? Hang on, guys. Let me find Michael.
All right, I'm here.
All righty. Welcome.
Sorry, man.
Glad to have you. No rush. No problem. If you're ready, you can grab the screens.
I am ready. Here we go. 1 minute it's 12:45. The next minute it's 12:55.
I know.
I don't know how that happens to me.
How does that happen? Okay, charts look good.
All right, here we go. Good afternoon, everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 26th day of November, 2024. Now, if you have, sorry, I thought I heard something running that I didn't hear running. If you have not taken a free trial of this and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on this purple button right here. Right, there's no credit card required for the trial. When you click on that, it's going to bring you to this registration page. Now, this page only gets you a couple of days right now, but you will be getting access to a full 5 consecutive business days in the trial. Okay. All we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. Down here at the bottom, if you have Ninja, give us your machine ID, but only give us that if you're going to use Ninja charts. All right. If you have TradingView, give us your TradingView login ID. We encourage you to get TradingView because the main indicators that we have are on TradingView and not on other ones. So get TradingView. If you don't know how, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on trading platforms. Watch this little video right here, right there. Right. That's how you do that. Now, I totally forgot I made this TradingView setup video here. You can watch that one too, I think. I'm not exactly sure what that all goes over, but that one's a 6-minute video. All right, that is not it. That is not it. I don't know how that ad popped up, but anyway, maybe I'll get rid of that. It's a 6-minute video though. The other one is a 3-minute video. Watch that other one. No ads pop up with that other one, I think. If you go to trading platforms and you click on this one, yeah, this is just a 3-minute video. Watch that one. All right, the spreadsheet. We had a pretty good day today. Had a lot of questions, a lot of Q&A stuff to go through today, so that was good. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you have to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. And I just want to go through and see what was in here. Good. Yeah, so we're up 132 ticks on the NQ, 23 ticks on the Russell, nothing on the YM, 9 on gold, and 1 on the ES. Put us at 87.5 on the morning session. Today took 5 minutes and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. At that point, with 11 contracts on, we're $1,265, and we took a total of 16 trades this morning. So on the month now, we're at $11,032 with 1 contract. Over 18 business days, averaging $612 per day with 1 contract. We've now gone 223 out of 223 days so far this year, getting our goal. And we've gone 20 days now since our last non-green day, and 389 business days since our last red day. We went through that earlier today. It was July 9th of last year. Let's see, we on the year now, we're at $111,402. That again is with 1 contract, and that's trading the whole morning session. Okay, that's not stopping when I get the goal for the day. That's trading the whole morning session. Quitting when I get the goal for the day on the year. Quitting when I get the goal for the day and adding 1 contract per month, we're at $199,518. All right, but this is with 1 contract trading the whole session. All right. So speaking of that, on the year, we're averaging $499.56 per day. And if you were following the 2420 blueprint, adding 1 contract a month, you would be trading 11 contracts right now. For 1 more day, you'd be trading 11 contracts. And if you quit when you got the goal for the day and you did it exactly like me, you would have only had to trade 65.46 hours so far this year, 65.5 hours, and you would have averaged $3,047 per hour for those 65.5 hours. All right. All right. Let's look at what we did today. Now, this was my drawing pad earlier today for the lesson plan. Look, the gold, this right here was the high. It never got up above that again. If it were to get up above that, this is where it would go, but it's not getting above that. So let's go back and take another look at this and see what we should expect out of this. Okay, this is an interesting spot that it's at right now. Let me get rid of this. And you see, this was the leg down. This was the leg up, but it was 100% retracement of the leg up. So now this is a 50% retracement of that 100% retracement up. Now, what I was looking at earlier was this and this. These little pieces of information right here, I was looking in this box. But now the box is expanded. It goes from here to here, from all the way down here to all the way up here. And this right here is your 50% mark. So it's in kind of a tough spot here because we have lower highs and higher lows. All right, so in the bigger picture, let me get rid of those things. Yeah, I know I didn't finish going through everything, but I will in a minute. Let me get rid of those guys. Okay. And let me do another thing too. Let me just say okay to this, and I want to do something else. Yeah, let's move this. Move to new pane below. Okay, there. Let's just look at this, all right, because this is a representation of what price did up till now, what price did. Okay, and you can see with this right here, it's a head and shoulder pattern, a descending head and shoulder pattern. And we broke the neckline right here. It ran down to here. Now it should have run all the way down to here, which it hasn't done yet. Okay, so within that, we had a leg down, a leg up, a leg down, a leg up. This leg up was too deep of a pullback. It should have pulled up to about right here. It was too deep of a pullback. So that kind of throws things off. Now you have this space right here that we're in, and this is a 50% retracement of this space right here that we're in. All right. And you know, I know when you have price on there, it looks a little bit different, but you get lost in the price sometimes. You see what I mean? It's a 50% retracement right here of this space. It's got to make a decision whether it's going to go up or down the rest of the day. And it's at that point right now. If you look at it like this, I'm going to crunch it up some more and bring it down like this so you can see the whole thing. If you look at it like this, that's where we are right now. Okay, and so it's got to make a decision here, one way or the other. If it does make the decision up, obviously this is going to be your next level of resistance. If it makes down, this is going to be your next level of support. If it breaks through that, that's your next level of resistance. If it breaks through that, that's your next level of support. That's what it looks like on the day. Now, right here in this session right here, you know, well, it's 103. I don't know. You know, it's got to move a lot to get the ribbon to move. This is the ribbon. It's not price. This is the ribbon. So it's going to move a lot to get the ribbon to move. But it's going to break out of this. The ribbon's going to break out of this area right here. And when it does, we should see a nice move one way or the other as we go into the end of the day. Now, remember, we have FOMC minutes coming out here at 2 o'clock. That could be the catalyst that actually makes the things bounce around. Okay, I don't know if that's going to be it, but that's what it could be. That could be the catalyst for it. All right, I'm still on gold. I didn't get into the rest of it. Sorry, I'll get back into my back into the groove here and finish saying what I was saying. Here we go. Over here now. The trades we took today. We started out here with gold. Our first trade on gold, we picked up 12 ticks. Then we had a break even. Then we had another break even. Then we had a minus 15 right there. That put us at minus 3 overall. Then right there, we had a plus 12. And that put us plus 12, plus 13. We're at minus 3. I ended up with plus 9. So it was plus 12. We had a plus 12. And that's when we saw this and we got into the lesson plan. And we were talking about things during the lesson plan in ET, this one here, my favorite trade, right? And since then, there has been no more of my favorite trades, really. Maybe one right here in the smaller. It wasn't a valid trade, though, because it wasn't coming off a lower swing. But there will be in some of the other pictures. I mean, some of the other charts. But during the break, there was a trade right here that would have stopped you out. So you wouldn't have done that, all right? And there was a trade right there that was kind of risky because I don't know how easy it was. Yeah, you probably might have skipped that one. And not done anything until you got a lower swing, and so you still don't have any more trades. So there wasn't much during the break. Okay, that was a lot of words. Let's get into the Russell. We only had the one trade on the Russell where we got the gold for the day, right here. So we got the goal for the day right there, and that was it. Our one trade on the Russell. It got caught up in this weekly trading zone and really didn't have a lot of opportunity. I got talking in the lesson plan, so I ended up missing this trade right here. That would have been a decent trade. Once you get out of the junk right here, this had the lower swing. You could have taken the trade right here if you wanted to trade, without a real strong trend. Then again, the weekly trading zone stopped us during the break. Nice trade right there. Then nothing. And now we're back with nothing. Just a bunch of junk. So not much we can do with that. All right. Now the ribbon is getting out of that patch that I just drew in there. It might happen while I'm talking right now, while I'm going through all this stuff. I didn't put the question box up. Let me put that up. Let's see. Okay, there are no questions in the question box yet. All right, the ES. Today we had one ES trade too. We had one break even. We had one trade where we got one tick. So we had two ES trades. One right here. We got one tick on that, and one right here. We got a break even on that. And that was it. The ES, again, just like the Russell, the ES was all jammed up. Weekly trading zone and going sideways here. Had a hard time getting any kind of a trend developed, and it still really hasn't got a trend developed. It's a little bit bullish right here. If I do the same thing with price on this, you see how price is just all over the place here. And it's, look at it, it's kind of hideous. So if you just move price off for a minute, and we'll do a new pane below. Oops, I moved the wrong thing. I want that to stay on it. I move that back up to the existing pane above. Price is what I want to move to the new pane below. Move that to a new pane below. Okay. And so if you just have the ribbon, you can see all through here the whole morning from 9:30. It started way back here at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. It started way back here, and the ribbon's just not giving it up. You're not going to be able to do anything on the long side because the weekly trading zone's there, and you can see that that's what's stopping everything. Then it finally slowly gets into this progression down here, but the way it did it was horrible. It was like whipping back and forth, and it wasn't really giving you any opportunity to get into anything. I took a couple of trades in there. It did give a couple of opportunities. One right over here, I think, and one right in here. You see the longer stretches with the ribbon spread out. And then it got bullish again, but in the bullish pattern here, the price was just crazy. It just whipped up, and then it had to come back down, and then we got too close to the zone to take a trade. So finally, we're above the zone with the spread out ribbon, so we could have an opportunity in here, but we don't have it. You see that? We just don't have it right there. So it could come together. It could turn into something, but it's not right now. Move that back on. All right. It could come together and give us something. This has got to get down into the oversold. This is what I was talking about, it whipping. And if you take that whip right there that it did, and you do this with it, right? You take this piece right here. Let's see how many times that happened today. That. See, from here at 8 o'clock, that's what it was like. It did this one right here. They got it going and jammed it up into just a mess since then. And you can see price has just not been consistent with any kind of follow through, and it's been going all the way across the ribbon. So it's just not giving us any opportunity. So, I mean, that's okay. It doesn't give us opportunity. That's why we have a bunch of different markets we can trade from. Just go to something else that is giving you opportunity. Do not force the trade. Do not take a trade where you don't have a trade set up. Okay. Next, the NQ. Now we had, the majority of our trades were here on the NQ today. And I think we only stopped out once right there. All right, so our first trade on the NQ was right here. We picked up 48 ticks on the very first trade. The next trade we picked up something. I don't know what that says. We picked up something there. I don't know what it says, but then the next trade we saw, I think it says 50. So I picked up 2 ticks. Does that sound right? Or 52? Something like that. I think it says 50. And then the next one we stopped out. That put us down to 14 is when I ran down. So I must have picked up 2 ticks there. Oh yeah, that's right. I had to go and look at that one. I had to go and find it in my data thing, my report, because I wasn't sure how much I got on that. And I only got 2 ticks. They come into 50. Then we stopped out minus 36. Then that put us down to 14. Then I got 20 ticks here that got us to 34, and I got 4 ticks there that got us to 38. Then 20 ticks there that got us to 58. Then 8 ticks to 66. Then 6 ticks to 72. Then 12 ticks to 84, and then 48 ticks to 132. And that was pretty much where we stopped. We started the lesson plan in there, and I wasn't really paying attention after that. But there was a trade here. That one right there was a nice trade. All right, perfect trade right there. 48 ticks, bam, just like that. Through here, now you had a lower swing right here. This one right here, I'm not sure you could see all the ribbon in there. If you did take it, it was pretty close to a stop out right there, but it did go down. And you could have taken this one. That would have been, these are 31 tick range bars, so it probably would have gone about 15, 16 ticks right there before it pulled back. Didn't put in a lower swing, so you wouldn't be interested in shorting again until you get all the way over here. Right, this would be your next one, way over here. Because you had to put in this lower swing right here, and then have another short trade after the ribbon spread out. So it'd be right here was your next one. Then right here would have been a long trade. That would have been a valid long trade right there. This is during the break now, though. This is all during the break. And just a few minutes ago, gave this right here. That would have stopped you out right there. And so now you got to get a higher swing, be able to take another trade in the long side, or it's going to give us a short trade. And that's it for the NQ. Boy, that seemed like it took me a long time today. Anyway, let's go look at a couple other things while we're just looking at stuff. So Bitcoin, this is a daily on the Bitcoin. So Bitcoin did move up pretty well today, and now it is moving back down. It was a green day, but it's about to turn into a red day right here, it looks like. Let's look at Bitcoin on a little bit bigger picture here, okay? So AT, you were saying you could do this with Bitcoin too, right? And you can. All the same things that we do in tomorrow's lesson plan, I'll get into a little bit more. But all the things that we do, they apply, they're scalable. You can apply it to all different time frames. You can apply it to everything. All right, so in here, you came out of the oversold, coming off a higher swing. You came out of the oversold. You can get long right here on this close right here. All right. What would you expect out of this? Well, if you look at the past, I want to do a couple of things. All right. Let's just look at this. Well, this is the whole leg length right here. All right. So if you use the whole leg length, then the pullback, 50% pullback is going to be right here. We don't really want it to go down that deep. All right. I'd rather work with the smaller leg length because I think that that's more likely to happen. The most recent leg length, which really kind of began right here or consolidated before it moved up, that puts us right now at the 50% retracement of it. Okay, now it's not bouncing off the ribbon, so it's not perfect yet, but it's pretty close. This is in the oversold. It needs to come out of the oversold, and on up close today, it will come out of the oversold. But I'd really kind of see it. I kind of want to see this bar close about where it is, maybe a little bullish, maybe even go down and hit the ribbon. But the next bar is the one that I would want to be, looking at. Okay, and this over here, we were looking at the bigger picture stuff last week, and this is what I was looking at right here for it to make this move and get up to here, 114,746. All right, the smaller move, we did this last week, and we said this is where it should go up to, and it's hit that now. Using the same leg length that we used there, you can use that leg length again right here. Did the same thing, then it pulled back. That's why I was using this as my base for the next leg length. All right, so it's pretty much done that leg length and it's pulling back. And now from this point, the next level up should be 106,545, and then a pullback, and then the next level would be up here at 115. Okay, that's using the way that it has been working. The information that the market has given us, that's how you can work with it. Now, coming out of the oversold, when you're in an uptrend, the ribbon is all spread out. All the same, it's not hard, right? It's pretty easy stuff to see and figure out. And that was Bitcoin. Now let's put Bitcoin down and go look at the next level up and see what we got going. All right, we had silver in there. Now silver got hammered yesterday, didn't it? Yeah, yesterday. I had this big move right here yesterday. You see it's pulled back up. This is a retracement of this right here. So the leg down, the next leg down is this. If silver's going to keep getting hammered, this is the next leg down. It's going to go from here to here and there. That's our next leg down on silver. We should see this level here. I think it's going to find support right here at 30 bucks. But going down a little below 30 bucks wouldn't surprise me. All right, and that's the silver. And about that next level, what's on this? This is the YM. Okay, and this is just the YM with the basic TV trades on. And today, I didn't have a lot of trades today. This is a 19 range. So today I had no trades. No trades. That is off. Let me look at the settings on this. I got the bias level on. Yeah, no trades today. That's weird. Go down to a smaller time frame. Something's not right. Let me shut that off and put just a fresh one on there. Nope, I guess it is right. How about the sniper? Try that one. Back it's the middle of the trend. There we go. So we had all these right here in the middle of the trend. Put that one up. I still don't get why this one didn't trigger in here. Anyway, that was that one. We got one more. And what do we have out here? Tesla. Okay, so look at Tesla. Range trigger. I want to put the range trigger on there. Range trigger. There we go. Oh, it was already on there. I'm sorry there. Get rid of that guy. It just took a few minutes. All right, so you're looking at the same stuff with Tesla. Now with Tesla, this is a 50 range. And with stocks, every time it moves up and down one tick, that's 1 penny. Okay, that's 1 penny. So when it pulls out of the oversold right here, you know, looking for it to move up, move up, move up, move up. There is, you know, it's all the same stuff. When you get a long trade, you're anticipating it's going to get to the prior swing high at a minimum, prior swing high at a minimum, every time you get a long trade, right? And when you get a short trade, you're anticipating it's going to get to the prior swing low at a minimum. So if you're trading Tesla, you know, if you're trading it, however you're trading it, you know, if you're trading it to trade 0DTE options or something like that, you know, you have this indication right here. When you have the trend, you have this indication when it pulls out, and you have an established target right there. So you have all that information ahead of time. You know, all that information ahead of time. We can go right to the very end of it right now and see what it looks like. So right here, we're not in the overbought, but when we do get in the overbought, we'll have this swing low right here that we'll be working with, right? Because it's lower than that one. It's lower than that one. So this will be the new swing low. If it pulls back up and it gives us a short, if it pulls back up into the overbought and it gives us a short, you'd have a chance to short it from right here, looking for it to get to here, or buy puts right here, looking for it to get it a minimum. Now that's gone down a little bit, to get it a minimum down here. Okay. So you can use all that information in that manner. Now go back here to this. It looks like gold got outside that triangle that I drew. Right, it happened before here. I was thinking we get out of it in this area right here, but it got out of it right away. All right, so this was the next level of support down here. Now it did not get into the overbought, so it didn't issue a trade here. It did not get into the overbought. It's still not there, so it's still not going to be anything yet. I'm curious, that alert that we made this morning, look in the log, did any of those trigger yet? I must have done something wrong with it if none of those triggered. Yeah, I must have done something wrong with it. I'll have to remake those. These alerts that I created this morning. You can just delete it, and I'll delete another one. Oops, I didn't mean to delete that one. Well, let me delete this one. Okay. right, so that was all the stuff that I wanted to show you with respect to gold. Gold is now in the overbought here, but the ribbon's crunched up, so you can't do this. If you spread it out a lot on the down close right here, on the down close, it'll probably spread the ribbon out on the down close. So you could sell 22.1 right now. If I could find my gold down. This is gold, the C contract. And something's messed up. But 22.1 is what you could sell right here. All right, I think I never reconnected from a little while ago when I disconnected. It looks like. Let me try to reconnect again right here. Log off, exit, log on. All right, there I am reconnected. So 22.1 would be the down close here. The high is 23.1. It's a 9-tick range. It's a 9-tick range. So this is where the bars are going to close right there. That's where my sell stop limit is right there. Okay. Now the markets are really slowing down here as we approach the meeting minutes. So we may or may not get any more trades in here. But let me put this on indicators and put on the ultimate slingshot, because this is what Sin wanted me to create this morning. So I'll do it from this right here. Right, you can click on that and do add alert, and click on that. And that's basically the same thing that I was doing earlier today. Value, we'll do crossing up, value 5 once per bar close. This is NQ 31R cross over 5. And go in here, and that's all good. And we'll say create ultimate slingshot. Lag is recycle this one fast. I'm gonna do lead. I think it's the lead that we're doing with this. Okay, we'll do create. Now let me just go make sure that that is what that is. Style, the lead, yeah. Okay. And this changed over here. I'm gonna cancel this order now. And now we'll do it again. I think that's what I missed this morning. If we clone it, we change this one. Lead value crosses down. This will be 95. Once per bar close, crosses under. 95. Okay. Ultimate slingshot lead, that's the black line within the ultimate slingshot, crossing down 95. Notifications, that's how you set up the alarm. Okay. So those are both active now. Sin's not in here, is he? No, he's not. But this is twice it's been recorded now, I think. The gold did end up moving down, but the ribbon was all crunched up and they're disqualifying the short. And it's 1:24, so we have 6 minutes left. And there it is, guys. There's what we were looking for. There it is right there, and there's the alert. That's what I tried to do this morning, but I forgot to do the lead part of it this morning, I think. Okay, so now I'm going to get rid of that slingshot. The alert will stay, even though the slingshot's gone. The alert will stay, just so you know. I mean, we can have a charge shut off, and that alert's still going to fire. So if I did, and it is set up actually, if I click on this, not that, if I click on this, you go in here where it said notifications, notifying the app. Because I have those turned on in my app, that actually is going to give me a notification on my phone too, all right, when it does that. So I may not leave that on. I get enough alerts bouncing off my phone as it is. All right. James B, are you in here right now? No, he is not in here. Okay. How about Scott? I was looking for James B or Scott R, and neither one of them are in here right now.
He's been publishing a lot of stuff in the Breeze channel, but I don't know if he's listening in here.
Yeah,
he might be listening on
he's
YouTube.
He's not in here right now. He might be listening on YouTube. But I'll send him an email later or a text message. And Scott, I think I know what's going on with Scott with his Sierra chart thing, why it's not hooking up, but he's on a Mac. That complicates things.
Oh boy, it does.
All right.
I never really learned how to use a Mac.
Yeah, I don't like doing it, and I don't like it. And
I had one for years, and it just gathered dust till it got so old it wouldn't even connect to the internet anymore.
So yeah,
went to the Goodwill.
I guess I'm gonna be. I just had this crazy thought. Back when Steve Jobs came up, remember those Macs that had all the colors? They're really colorful. Those little desktop things. It was like the screen and the computer and all in one thing.
Lisa.
No, this is way before that.
The ones they ended up burying out in the desert? No.
Maybe I don't know. It was way back, late '80s, early '90s. But he said back then, Steve Jobs said, something in your computer look flashy or something like that. Kind of like what Elon Musk said about his most recent, what was it, the cab thing, I think, or a futuristic car should look futuristic.
Right.
And so he's got these really funky looks.
I'm still waiting on my car from the Jetsons cartoon when I was a kid.
Yeah, I know. I want to sound just like that. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. That actually made more noise than like my neighbors who have those little electric cars. Little electric cars, I guess. I have one neighbor that's got the one right here has got a Tesla. One on the other side of the neighborhood's got a Volvo. The Volvo one is pretty nice. That one looks a lot better. It's a lot better to look at than the Tesla is.
I always thought Volvos were kind of boxy looking, but then I don't know what a new
they are.
I don't know what the new ones look like.
No, they're still kind of boxy, but that's kind of a European thing, I think, for the family cars. Anyway, and that's kind of what it was. But anyway, we are running out of time, D.
Okay, I'm ready whenever you are.
All right, meeting minutes come out here in half an hour. That's what I believe the markets are waiting on. So let me just say one more time, if you have not went up to it. Somehow I lost that page. I'll just do it again. mytradingiq.com. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button. When you do that, there's no credit card required. You do that, you can be brought to this registration page. Just fill it out. It takes 30 seconds to fill it out. 30 seconds to fill that out. And if you're taking it and you want to take the trial, take the whole trial. Give us your TradingView login ID so you get the indicators indicating on your desktop. If you don't do that, you're missing out on most of the trial. All right, you want to get that on your desktop so you can mess around with it at night or whenever you're not in the room with us.
And you'll receive instructions on how to set up Telegram.
Yes, you want to get in the Telegram channels too.
I mean, you want to be able to see the concierge alerts, the logic alerts. You want to be able to talk to our other traders in the discussion group. I mean,
yes, there are just lots and lots of groups out here in the Telegram channels. These are a whole bunch of channels that we have for Telegram.
I probably have at any given
so you
time.
Want to get in there.
I don't know, 100 ongoing conversations with different people. And it just archives it, and it's free, and it's fast, and it's secure, and it's we've certainly gotten our money's worth out of that. Since it's free.
Yes, you want to get in there.
And if you need help setting it up, let us know. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just go to telegram.org, O-R-G, and when you take the trial, Valerie's going to send you an email with all kind of information, and the Telegram links that you have access to on the trial will be in there. And once you've installed Telegram on your computer, then all you got to do is click that link in that email, and poof, it'll pop open in Telegram.
Yep, it's
It'll
Vic
stay
in here.
open.
Vic's not in here.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, and then every time you open Telegram back up,
It'll be
you'll have all these things. I have all these things that I haven't read yet. All right. That is it, guys. With that, I'm going to pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne is ready. Is there
I'm ready indeed. Recap of the morning session.
Today, it took 5 minutes and 1 trade to get to $1,265.
Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, we've covered all the markets, and we'll just take one last peek at the daily chart. Okay, remember, the next obstacle is yesterday's high. 60.40, major obstacle, 60.40. Okay, if we take out 60.40, then the all-time historic high is 13 points higher, 13.25 points. And of course, support, you got double support here at red and falling and the step line. So if you missed the first part where I went through all the markets and all the alerts, when I end this broadcast in about 10 minutes, give it a half hour and you can go to youtube.com/CFRN and see this broadcast in its entirety, along with over 2,600 other daily broadcasts. To become a member, a passport holder, send an email to support@cfrn.net. In the subject line, just put, "I want to become a member." In the body of the email, simply put your name and your phone number. We're not going to call you, but Valerie is going to email you an info kit, and in that email there will be a link so that you can become a member. Once you're a member, you'll have access to the live training room, 2 hours every trading day. It's an interactive environment. You can be the 9 out of 10 who fail, or you can have a shot at becoming the 1 out of 10 who succeeds. Indicators, oscillators, these books, videos, I'm sure they all do what they claim they do, but the reason 9 out of 10 fail is because they don't have an actual teacher, a living, breathing human being who will take you by the hand, show you how to do it, answer all your questions, and be there for you around the clock. Our members have around the clock support via Telegram. Now, along with the 2 hours of group training every day, you have access to private one-on-one mentoring, no extra charge. As a passport holder, the indicators you own and the strategy you learn are fluid across all markets and all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF, daily, weekly, monthly, 30-minute, 5-minute tick chart, range chart. Plus you get the Logic 247 alerts around the clock. You get the concierge trade alerts every evening, the second they're published. Every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, you get the weekly trading zones. We're coming up on our 15-year anniversary, December 14th. Once the zones are published for the week, they're carved in stone. They don't change in any way whatsoever. And if that weren't enough, you're able to attend the members only workshop every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. And you get the golden key that opens all the private channels in Telegram. Everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. was always so creepy when Joe would do his whisper thing. Don't. All right, we spent 6 days talking about what to do when you're under attack. Today we're going to switch it up and talk about establishing your priorities. John 15:16 says, I chose you and appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should remain. In order to fulfill God's plan for your life, you must establish clear priorities and live by them each day. Author Edward de Bono quipped, a conclusion is the place where you get tired of thinking. Sadly, many people arrive at priorities based on where they ran out of steam. You definitely don't want to do that. Nor do you want to allow others to decide your agenda or your priorities. Many ways exist for determining priorities. First and foremost, your plan must always line up with God's will for you. See Hebrews 13:20. In John 15:16, Jesus said, I chose you and appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should remain. Observe, number one, you must know that God has chosen and appointed you to a particular area of service. Number two, your goal in life should be to bear fruit that remains as your legacy. If you use them properly, things like money and influence can aid you, but they must never be your goal or your heart's desire. So how can you establish the right priorities? As you get to know yourself better, begin focusing on your strengths and the things that make the best use of your God-given skills. Consider what brings you the highest return and reward. Think about what you enjoy most and do best. Those are your core gifts. Utilize the 80-20 rule. Give 80% of your effort to the top 20% of your activities. Bottom line, Jesus said you are to give your attention to the areas that bear the most fruit. And that's our good word for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.